Podcast. See, now this time I didn't forget to switch to the actual camera. We're good. We're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pretty Sketchy Podcast number 8. I'm Corey, and with me, as always, is acclaimed author and former X Factor second runner-up Michael Marshman. How are you, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. I didn't take the gold, but, hey. Most of the time, the runners-up have the better career anyway.
That's right, but you were second runner-up, so...
Shit.
You'll be forgotten about before next season, bro. Just forget about it.
Oh, well.
All right. Oh, I just noticed that line's crooked. So, okay. So what we do at the start of every podcast is talk about what we're actually doing here because, as Kevin Smith famously said, and probably someone else said before him, every podcast is someone's first podcast. So people are probably tuning in going, I don't know what these two dudes are doing and why they're doing it. So what we do, Michael wrote an awesome comic book called Homoko King. And I'm illustrating the comic book and doing a lot of the work live on the stream, so you get to see how a comic book's made. So I just thought it might be interesting to broadcast that to the world.
See how it's made in the most unprofessional way possible.
This is how not to make a comic. And also, like, how to, like, make the... It's like the spaghetti... what was that? Chinese democracy of comic books.
Yeah.
It's Axl Rose is helping me out with this one. He's making sure that I don't get too ahead of myself.
He's got Dr. Pepper on speed dial.
That's right. We're taking liberties with time per issue that is usually reserved for the greats in the genre.
Yeah. Like Alan Moore.
But we're getting there because today we're up to page 4 of issue 1.
I mean, we're up to page 4, but we still haven't completed a page.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I've still got some work to do on the other pages, but that's cool. That's cool because I'm starting to get my flow on now. I'm getting into the vibe of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, one day when like I'm running Marvel and you're running DC down the track. God, I don't want to run Marvel. Can I run DC with you?
You have to run Marvel. That way we have to bag each other out.
All right, cool.
Like, yeah, Corey, that friggin' cunt.
The distinguished competition over there at DC. We can look back on these podcasts and, if YouTube's still a thing and be like, holy shit, how did we ever get that done? But that's all right. That's okay. All right. So how you been, man? What's going on?
Oh, man, my life is all over the place at the moment.
Oh, you're telling me. Hang on, I got 2 words for you, man. I mean, I don't know what's going on personally, but Christmas trade in retail.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, we actually have day jobs. I don't know if you can figure that one out, but yeah.
Define job.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, that's right. I need my reference. There we go. Yeah. Well, so what's going on, man?
Just, the struggles of everyday life. Mm-hmm. Especially, like you said, during Christmas time with our jobs. Mm-hmm. Not exactly the greatest combination. On top of that, I got a call from my bank the other day telling me that my card was skimmed.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You're the last person on earth who needs that kind of shit right now.
I know.
Oh, my God. So, hang on. I didn't think you had any cash anyway. Like, what did they take?
I had a little bit, all right? No, they didn't take anything. My bank caught it before they took anything. But,
okay. That's cool.
I don't have a card for like a week or so.
Oh, really? You need a new card? Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's better than having a lot of cash and losing it, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, Better to have loved it lost than never to have loved it all.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Oh, no way. All right. Well, hopefully things will pick up and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of good with the bad, so.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
A lot of the good coming from pop culture itself.
Mm-hmm.
People throwing shit at me going, hey, this is coming out. Enjoy this. I'm like, I will when I have money.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you know what? I got the money. I just don't have the time. That's what's driving me crazy lately.
Oh, so we just need to swap lives for a while.
Yeah. Oh, like, what's that? Wasn't there a movie about that?
I'm pretty sure there were a few.
Yeah, there's usually 1 or 2, yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's, right? That's one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it, yeah. All right, so I guess the big news of the week, we should probably broach that first of all, is something that our backwards asses aren't across at all, is that Rogue One came out. And, I mean, we haven't seen it. The midnight launch was, last night?
Yeah.
Well, I woke up to, like, a slew of very positive Facebook comments
Yeah.
this morning.
I saw Carl's. I think it was like believe the hype, and I'm like, man, you
Yeah,
say that about every fucking movie you go see. So
yeah, but maybe it's good, man. You know, you don't know. You weren't there.
I wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously you're referring to Carl from Defacast,
Yes.
um, and formerly our place of employment as well. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting that it's just been so overwhelmingly positive. Particularly when it could have very easily just people could have gone into it cynically, like I mean, universally people were pretty happy with what Abrams did.
Yeah.
Whether it ticked all the boxes or not, I think everybody saw it for what it was, and that's essentially
A Star Wars film.
yeah, but like it was a reboot, I guess, without using the term reboot because that's a dirty word. And it brought everything back to square one, and we can now move forward. And that I think people appreciated that. They appreciated his opting out of. I won't say opting out of CGI because he used a shitload, but he opted out of using a lot of bad CGI. In lieu of using
Or unnecessary
practical effects. Yeah. So that was a bonus and all this. So I think people could have very easily gone, well, it's not JJ. This is the one where they could go back to a franchise that nobody wants. And it doesn't appear that that's been the case, which is pretty good. Like everybody's like who went and saw it. I mean, obviously everyone's seeing it with rose-colored glasses because it's a Star Wars movie. They all saw it probably starting to show at like 12:45 or 1 a.m. If history tells us anything about premieres.
Yeah, I mean the people that have seen it already are the people that really wanted to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, if there's any sort of negative reviews, they'll probably come within the next few days, I'd say, or maybe even like not for like a couple weeks.
It's interesting that you bring that up because do I have a review? You got to, dude. Someone posted this on Facebook the other day. Mike Speakman, who's on my Facebook. Hang on, where'd it go? He posted this article that was. It was by a guy called. Hang on, it's just loading up. A guy called Richard Brody from
naming and shaming.
Naming and shaming from the New Yorker, right? And I understand that their demographic isn't like
us.
Yeah, I mean, their core demographic. Okay, someone else linked another article because everyone obviously in the comments was bitching about this dude. And essentially they linked another article that this dude wrote about like my favorite films of 2016. And the comment was like, it said, look, extra points if you have seen any of these films. Because they're all super art house, like this dude isn't your typical popcorn fare kind of dude, Yeah. But let me just read you a couple of highlights from this. Lobotomized and depersonalized. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Oh, I should say that the heading for this was, is it time to abandon the Star Wars franchise? He said, the latest entry, you're going to have to excuse my reading because he uses some big words. Latest entry in the film franchise is a pure and perfect, sorry, I'm plosives here, product that makes last year's flavor Star Wars The Force Awakens feel like an exemplar of hands-on humanistic warmth and dramatic intimacy. Sure, Abrams' movie offered merely effectively packaged simulacra of such values, but at least he tried. The director of Rogue One, Gareth Edwards, has, and this is where it gets amazing, has stepped into a, mythopoetic stew of half-baked and overcooked. Now, I got to put a pin in it right there. How can something be half-baked and overcooked? Right? Okay. Okay, hang on. I got to get the flow of the sentence back. Okay. I don't even know what this word is. Mythopoetic.
What the fuck?
I don't know what that is. Stew of half-baked and overcooked. A morass of pre-instantly overanalyzed implications of such shuddering impact to the series' fundamentalists that he lumbers through, seemingly stunned or constrained or cautious to the vanishing point of passivity. And let's neither the characters nor the formidable cast of actors, nor even the special effects of which he has previously proved himself to be the master, come anywhere close to life.
I didn't catch any of that, to be
No,
honest.
and the thing is, like, there was people in the comments trying to dissect it and try and figure out what he was actually trying to say. Essentially, he was just saying it took a dump on the series, you know, blah 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 blah. But it's just like, holy
It
shit.
sounded like he wasn't too crash hot on Force Awakens either.
Yeah, no, he said, that by contrast is passable, is what he was getting at, and that was, holy shit. Hang on, where's this other link? I got to find the link to the counter article. Here it is. And I mean, Jesus, just the wording of this headline alone. This is from a website called Deadspin. How the fuck high was this New Yorker guy when he wrote this Star Wars take?
Oh
man. Listen, I'm not going to try and unpack and critique the bonkers Rogue One review published by the New Yorker's Richard Brody today. I do not even know where to begin. I'm just going to block quote some portions down below this paragraph and invite you to join me in making halting, inarticulate, baffled vocalizations on them. Here are some things Richard Brody wrote about a PG-13 space adventure movie about space good guys and space bad guys firing lasers at each other. And then it goes on to just block quote all of these, like, oh my God.
Basically, what you said. Well,
I mean, he uses the word, this is a kind of corporate Kremlinology that would rightly take place of criticism in assessing the substance and tone of the movie. And then like his response, here's his block quote, he's responding to each of the questions. It was like, it's just, what? There's none of the Shakespearean space politics. Oh, this is the fucking gold right here. There is none of the Shakespearean space politics, enticingly florid dialogue, or experiential thrills of the best of George Lucas's Star Wars entries, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Oh my God!
It's like he wants to be run out of the internet. Like, just like, oh my God!
I'm convinced it's a joke.
But it's the New Yorker. It's like, I mean, I get it. They're tough.
That would be the ultimate joke.
Hang on, I'll see if I can find this thing where it links to. It links to another article. I mean, I won't go to that link, but just the way that this guy says, like, and this is just in the comments. No, it must be somewhere else. But it basically just, like, it links to that other article where he's discussing, the best movies of 2015, and how, like, if you recognize any of these titles, you get extra points because it's just super art house projects that probably never even made it to cinemas. They just, like, they shot it on film and you have to go to a location and they'll just run you the dailies and that's the film.
Yeah.
But either way, like, I mean, come on, man. I get you got a job to do and stuff, but can you just accept the fact that it's maybe not in your wheelhouse and just rate it on the merit of what it is. Don't compare it to whatever, art house film the producers, like the studio has paid a vast sum of money to win the actor an Oscar for this year.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, Hollywood's a big game. And it is what it is, but this movie, I mean, it may not make $1 billion, but it's going to make some serious bank just because of the Star Wars tag, and that's fair. But there's, for everyone out there who turns their nose up to it, there's 5,000 other people who are just stoked to be sitting in a cinema watching it.
Yeah.
And that's, like, just people who can't accept that need to just chill the fuck out. Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm not saying people can't have an opinion on things, but oh man, that was just,
like, it would have been better if you just went, yeah, didn't like it.
yeah, you may like it, I didn't. It was like, to me, comparing it to so much other great cinema that came out this year, it wasn't in my wheelhouse. I have no doubt that there's going to be people walking out of the cinema with big smiles on their faces, something like that. Like, you can get away with something like that. But oh man, just stop being such a hater, dude. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go watch it. I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Mm-hmm. Haven't had a Defacast without the mention of Star Wars.
That's right.
Somewhere in it.
Yep.
I'll probably walk out of it loving it. That's my initial sort of prediction anyway. I don't know, who knows? I could walk out of it just going, nah, didn't like it. It's definitely not going to be my movie of the year. I can tell you that much.
Like, we're not expecting it to be. We're expecting a cool Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Do you know,
exactly.
that's the vibe.
Like if I walk out going, yeah, that was cool. That's it. Like, done. You know,
Yeah, that's all it
did its job.
needs. That's all it needs is just that. It's just like, holy shit, man! Remember that time when the Wookiee did the thing? Yeah, dude, it was sick. Yeah, that's all. Like, if it ticks that box, I'm down. You know.
Remember that Wookiee with a wizard dick?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm doing this cityscape. I should mention what's going on with this page, because this is a podcast about a comic book. So this is believe it or not, it's a it's a single page panel, it's like a splash page kind of thing of a cityscape of a city in ruins. And I'm just trying to work out all the angles right now. So if you're wondering why I've only drawn like 4 lines on the page, it's because I'm trying to work out my vanishing points and things. Like we've gone into in great detail at other podcasts, but yeah, the problem is because it's so wide, the vanishing points travel way off the side of the page, and I need to try and work out how to rein that back in a little bit. Yeah, but anyway, that's it. So tell me about Last Guardian, man. As someone I've played, bearing in mind I've played Ico or Eco, depending on who you talk to, and I haven't played Shadow of the Colossus, but I've seen a fair amount of gameplay and stuff. I get the vibe of that. How does this compare to that?
Don't take this in a bad way, but it's probably the weakest of the 3.
Right on. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Having said that, I absolutely adored it.
Right. Okay. That's good.
Like, Fumito Ueda, who pretty much created these games, directed them. Mm-hmm. He's created, intentionally or not, a trilogy of games that will probably stand the test of time for me. Okay. Probably 3 of the most important games I'll ever play. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that Shadow of the Colossus is my number 1 favorite game of all time.
Wow. Okay.
And it probably will be for a long time. And like something amazing has to come along. Like something that will change my life would have to come along to knock that off. I mean, before Shadow, for 10 years, Ocarina of Time was sitting on my number 1 spot.
Right, okay. Another game I haven't ever played, man. I really need to get onto that one.
It'd be hard to do it now, I think. I don't think it's aged well. If you're going to play it, play the 3DS version.
Okay.
But yeah, for a good 10 years, that was sitting my number 1. Then I played Shadow, and I was just like, this game to me, it's perfect.
See, well, here's the thing about Shadow of the Colossus that I never quite got. Is you literally you only fight bosses in that game, am I right?
Essentially, yeah. The only enemies are the Colossi, yeah.
Wow, okay. Yeah. So
there's 16 of them.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, but you're traveling between battle zones?
Essentially, yeah. Like you travel to different areas of the map. Each of them have their own sort of, I want to say biome, but sort of theme, I guess. Yep. Each boss in itself is a puzzle that you have to figure out how to beat. Okay. It's not so much. I mean, it is and it isn't about the enemies. It's the game itself, the atmosphere it creates, and the bond that you sort of have with like your only companion, which is your horse Aggro. Mm-hmm. Which isn't a major part of it. It is like a small part, and a small but important part, I suppose. I don't know. It's just something about it. The story is very minimal. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is left up to interpretation, which is the same with Eco and Last Guardian as well. He's very minimal with his storytelling, but it leaves so much more room for your imagination and for you to get so absorbed in these worlds. I just think it's a stroke of genius. Okay. I don't think there's any games like that out there. None that I've seen anywhere. The closest you'll probably get is Dark Souls in terms of minimalist storytelling. Yep. But Dark Souls can also leave you pulling your hair out. Having said that, the keep going back to Shadow, but a lot of the puzzles, a lot of the bosses in Shadow are so difficult to figure out your first time through. And once you do, you feel like you're such a fucking idiot. Why didn't I think of this?
But I mean, you've said that a lot about Dark Souls 3. Is that like, yeah, sure, it's hard, But if you're a fucking idiot, I think was the
Yeah,
way you
like
described
Dark
it.
Souls is difficult if you're stupid. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you treat it like any other game, I suppose. Basically, the key to Dark Souls is take your time.
Yeah,
Look at the enemies, look at how they move, how they attack, when their openings are,
yeah,
and take advantage of it.
yeah. See,
That's
here's the thing. Here's the thing about that is, honestly, I'd be shit at it because I don't take the time to do that. I'll sit there and I'll try and figure out the puzzle for 5 seconds. If I can't figure it out, then I'll just try and brute force my way through everything, because that's just how I roll with everything in my life.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, like that's the approach most gamers take nowadays, anyway. Because
Yeah.
a lot of gamers,
Well,
have
Call of
very
Duty has
short-
trained us to do that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You can alter the way you do it, but if you just keep pushing with the same philosophy,
Yeah,
you'll eventually make it through on just even on dumb luck. You know?
Yeah, it's very Twitch. It's very quick, very just rush in. Like you look at hack and slash games like Devil May Cry or even like Dynasty Warriors and stuff like that. You just go in, mash the freaking square button, and you win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like Dark Souls is nothing like that. It's very tactical and you got to think about it and take your time.
Yeah.
Which I think why a lot of the gaming community find it hard is because they're so used to that mashing X to win or mashing square to win or whatever.
Yeah, the whole spoon
That
fed thing.
yeah. When you get dropped into Dark Souls, you're like, oh, it's not working, and then there's a reason it's not working. But yeah, anyway, back to Last Guardian. It is a phenomenal game. It's not without its faults. Trico, the animal hybrid thing, amazing character in and of itself. It's very independent. You don't control him at all.
Yep.
You can issue commands like be like, hey, jump here, or like leap up there so I can climb up you, blah blah blah. But most of the time he's very much his own character, and he is definitely a character. He's like by the end of it, I was in love with him. I was just like, man, you're like the greatest thing ever. I don't want you to like leave me ever. Like this is not me like talking through the character. This is just me going like, don't ever leave me.
Don't ever leave me. We're best buddies.
But that's another thing.
You really need to get a dog, man.
I had a dog. Yeah, that's another thing Ueda does so well. He's so good at isolating his main characters and giving them one thing to hang on to.
Yeah.
Like with Eiko, it was the
girl.
the princess. I can't remember her name. It's like Norda or something. With Wanda in Shadow of the Colossus, it was his horse Aggro.
Yeah.
And with The Last Guardian, it was the boy. I don't think he has a name. Yeah, it's just I'll just call him the boy and Trico, which is a very like a lot of those three games have that theme of isolation but companionship and bond forming.
100%.
But I think Last Guardian has that at the forefront, whereas like stuff like Shadow has the themes of like, what would you go through and how far would you go for the ones you love?
Yep.
Like what would you do to yourself just to help someone that you love? And I think Eco goes back to more Last Guardian sort of area, that companionship and getting through something with someone together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. He's made a very well done trilogy of games where none of them are connected.
The spiritual successes kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guarantee you there's theorists out there connecting all three together somehow. I mean, when Shadow came out, people were connecting Eco to Shadow as well because, spoiler alert, at the end of Shadow, Wanda...
Spoilers! Yeah,
for like a, 15-year-old game at this point. Oh no, 11 years old. Wanda, the main character, gets, I guess, sort of transformed into a baby with horns.
Okay.
And that's what the main character in Eco was. He was a kid with horns. So they think that Wanda is like an ascendant of Eco.
Yeah, but see, I mean, that could just be an artistic style choice.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
That's it. I mean, they're probably sitting around at the studio going, "Oh boy, this is gonna fuck with people's minds."
Yeah,
they're gonna be stewing on this for years, man.
Yeah, I mean, all three games have very similar artistic styles and artistic directions, like the very barren sort of lands with minimal life, the stoneworks, just everything about them. They just have very similar sort of atmospheres.
Yeah, the architecture, the atmosphere, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But as I was saying, it's not a perfect game. There are moments. It's more control wise than anything. Like getting on Trico and climbing around him is very Shadow of the Colossus, very simple. Like I was used to that.
Yep.
I think I had a less of an issue with the controls because I had played Shadow so much.
I saw a great GIF. Sorry, the other day of this dude who climbed up on top, climbed around him, and old mate sort of turned around and started climbing up the wall. And when he got to the top, he stopped there, and the kid just flung off into the ravine. I was like, oh, yeah, well,
oh god,
that's real life though, man. Like,
yeah, it can happen.
It can happen, yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's one of the problems. Like getting on Trico is fine. Getting off him is a mission.
Oh,
like,
really?
my god, yeah, because like jumping onto Trico, you just press triangle, you jump, and you grab onto him.
Yep.
And you just climb around, whatever, blah blah blah. Getting down, you either press circle or square. So like circle's like let go, square is descend.
Yep.
And holy shit, man! Like you basically got to climb down him. Like there's no quick way to get off him.
Right. Okay.
Like it's like, which can be very frustrating, especially with the way the pacing of the game. It's fairly slow.
Yeah.
Like you take your time, you got to figure out puzzles and whatnot, and you just like when you've mentally figured out a puzzle,
you want to jump onto it.
Yeah, you want to get onto it, and to add on to that, you got to get Trico to do what you want him to do, which I believe IGN were like he won't always do it. Like he'll just flat out refuse. Which I don't quite agree with. Like he doesn't flat out refuse. It might take him a while to get what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
like, he's a bit slow on the uptake.
To be perfectly honest, I can sit here for like 45 minutes yelling at my dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to do jack shit unless they want to do it. You know, I think that's they might be missing the point there, and that's they were trying to make Trico as realistic as possible.
Yeah, I get that, but to do it to the point where it takes away from the game, it's a bit of a balancing act, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to make a player frustrated beyond all hell over something that they can't control.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, the further we sort of travel into the realm of AI and stuff like that, and you know, you'll be eventually playing games with AI. I mean, we already are, but I'm talking about like
really advanced AI.
Yeah, really advanced AIs
like
and stuff like
Turing
that.
test passing motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I mean, that there's advantages to that because you'll be able to tailor your gaming experience to your abilities. You know, they can alter the AI to suit. You're not playing against some random guy who's going to just trounce you.
Yeah,
they can become a learning process. They can sort of teach you from a noob right through to an expert. You know, just by playing against you at the right level.
Yeah.
And things like that. But that's the sort of things you're going to encounter if the opponent or character or whatever has a personality. Then they're going to have personality traits that you don't find agreeable, you know?
Yeah.
And that's
I mean, his AI wasn't that big of a problem for me. I don't know if it was just me and I got lucky. Like most of the time, he would just do what I did. There were a couple of times where I got frustrated, mainly because while I was playing, it was during the day and it was very hot. So I'm just like sitting there sweating, getting frustrated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
just a little nudie.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, and I mean, like the controls themselves too. Like the main character is he feels very weighty. He pretty much controls the exact same way Wanda does in Shadow.
Yep.
So I think once again I was lucky because I've played Shadow so much that I just know how it feels and what the main character is going to do when I'm moving a certain way. Yep. I did complain a while ago that the camera was a bit slow, and I kept saying to myself, I'm going to go to the options, see if there's a way to make the camera faster, and I never did.
Yeah.
I finished the game, and then I went to the options, and then I was like, oh, I can speed the camera up. So,
Jesus. Well, that's not a very typical option though. Like that's not something that I would have gone looking for.
It is in a few games, but I think it's more in PC games where you can adjust mouse sensitivity.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think I'm just used to that. So
actual
I'll
camera movement's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I absolutely adored it. Shadow still sits at my number one. Didn't quite trounce it. In fact, I'd probably struggle to put Last Guardian in my top 10, but that's
Fair
not to
enough.
say it's not fantastic. You know, I've played many games that aren't in my top 10, but you know,
Yeah, you'd thoroughly recommend them
definitely.
though.
Yeah. I mean, I think Last of Us isn't even in my top 10, and that game is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It'd be very close to my top 10.
You tend to like, and this is based on just what I've seen. You tend to like very indie experiences a lot of the times. Games that maybe aren't your typical fare. You know, the kind of things that we haven't got 30,000 people all coming in asking for every day at work. You know.
Yeah.
And I admire that. I ain't got time for that shit, but I admire that you do.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't. I think because I've been gaming for so long, I've seen it all.
yeah,
I feel
that's
like
fair
I've seen it
enough.
all.
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't go near the CODs or anything, because you know I've played them.
Yeah,
I don't need to play them again, and I'm constantly looking for something different.
yeah,
Ueda's games are very much like that. Like his games are the best example or your best ammo for trying to sell games as art.
fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
Especially
I would agree
Shadow.
with that. I mean, just basically looking at it, you can see that. You know.
Yeah, like they're definitely art forms. Which, funnily enough, I heard a couple of days ago. I think Shigeru Miyamoto was like, you know, video games aren't art. So I'm like, fuck you, buddy. You
Who's
know,
that?
the Shigeru Miyamoto, the guy that created Mario.
Dude made Mario. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I
And I
think
mean, essentially,
he's
you could
just
be
like,
like,
you know,
you can be like, well, fair enough. Like, um, you know, he's come up with a cultural icon and stuff, and his opinion matters. But maybe he's not making art, but it doesn't mean other people aren't.
yeah.
Do you know
Well, I
what I
mean,
mean?
he is such a foundation of the whole gaming industry because like he
Yeah,
created Mario, Link,
yeah,
fucking, you know, almost every Nintendo character
yeah,
bar Kirby, I think.
yeah,
But you know, like I think he's from a different era when video games were very niche.
yeah,
And like he still makes those kind of games, you know, like games just for game's sake.
yeah.
But I think the industry has evolved since then to be more of an art form than anything else.
Well,
So
I mean, look at something like, okay, so platformers, right? You got the platforming game. You got Mario. Now compare that with, say, Limbo.
hmm
You know, and I mean, you could be cynical about it and say, well, Limbo is really just an art style. But boy, oh boy, does that game give you a feeling when you're playing it? You know,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you
Yeah.
either love it or you don't because it's creepy and scary and weird. But it is what it is. You know, it's you know, you could sort of say, well, it's basically the same as Mario, but it's not. Well, one is more puzzle solving. You know, that's a key
Yeah.
component. But I mean, it's still just at its heart, it's just a platformer with a single character that's moving through the world. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Funnily enough, I think the game after Limbo that they did, Inside, does it even better.
Yeah, I know. I heard a lot of people talking about that, but I never got a chance to play it.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. That's
yeah.
one of my games of the year, to be honest. One of the front runners.
Okay, well, that's I might have to give that a look in. God damn. Buildings, dude, you got to come up with a way of having less buildings.
Hey, she's going to be in a desert soon, all right?
All right,
Relax.
good. Jesus Christ, man! Like, if there's one thing that I don't draw well, it's buildings.
To be fair, she's going to go into the desert and find a building.
Hey, if it's one building, I don't mind that so much, but a city is just a goddamn nightmare.
Well, it is a very specific building.
Yeah, cool. Like a temple sort of vibe, or
Mate, have you read my fucking script at all?
yeah, but dude, it was a long time ago. You got to give me some credit. It was a while back.
The hospital.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, very specific building. That makes sense.
You're going to have fun soon because, like, I'm pretty much giving you free reign over what a lot of the mutants look like.
Yeah,
So
I don't mind that.
you can just be like, yeah, just go nuts. Except for the ones that I have
figures,
specific.
people, all that sort of shit. Like that's my wheelhouse. But all
Yeah.
this structural stuff, that's the Sean Murphy world. You know, like that's what he's good at. Should just leave it with him. You know.
Well, tell you what you do: draw the characters, tweet him the photo, and be like, "Hey, can you finish this?
Can you just whack some dudes in, like just whack some buildings in the background,
Whack some dudes."
whack
Jesus.
some dudes off in the background? But I mean, dude, I watched him. Like I think I told you before, I watched him do it like a little clinic sort of thing with a bunch of what I assume are art students comic art students or something, because they all seem to know his work really intimately.
This is the Sean Murphy appreciation segment of the podcast.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you guys talk about Star Wars on your one, man. Give me a break. So no, but it basically he just, as a demo, he was just sort of doing a real general layout panel thing of like a cityscape in the background, a door at the into a bar or whatever, and just he knocked it out in like not even 10 minutes. Just with a paintbrush and just like, blah, 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 blah. There you go. That it's, I mean, generally I'd probably rough it out first and stuff. I'm like, fuck you, man. It's like better than anything I could ever hope to accomplish, if given weeks to do one panel,
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah, but God damn it. It is what it is. But
what is this Sean Murphy's number? I might give him a call.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? There's two types of people in the world. There's people who look at that and they throw their pencil down and they go, "Fuck this! I can't do it."
Yeah.
Or there's people like me who obsess over that stuff and obsess over it until I can do it.
Yeah.
You would
reach that level.
Yeah, I've just got to I need to absorb all of his work to understand how he works. That's what influence is. That's what inspiration is. It's what, and it's not about copying their work. It's about being able to look at their work and rationally go, okay, what's he doing that I'm not? And how can I use that in the way that I want to express myself? You know, it's like the first time anybody ever heard Eddie Van Halen two-handed tapping, on his guitar neck. Everyone lost their minds. It's a real simple technique anyone can use, and since then a million people have done it in their music. And we're back. Wow, that was weird. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had a bit of a laptop malfunction. And I just dropped my ruler. Like a consummate professional.
It's all happening.
Yeah, oh man. Nothing but excitement here. So I just had a bit of a computer technical difficulty where the thing just went poof and turned off. And that's what you get for running oh, hang on. We may have lost the cameras. There we go. That's what you get for running two 1080p cameras on a laptop and a USB microphone as well, and live streaming to the world. Okay, so hopefully it's not too bad out there. It looks like it's working pretty well. Okay, sorry about that. I've completely forgot what we were up to. What were we talking about?
Something to do with shit.
You know what? Let's move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Just to drive the listeners crazy. I'm pretty sure I was halfway through, illustrating a point, but that's, they can figure it out themselves. Speaking of games, the one thing I wanted to talk about, and I know you haven't played it yet, is Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
Have
you played it?
I have, yeah. I've played it a fair amount, actually. I wouldn't say I've done too much progress in the single player or anything like that, but I've definitely run around the city enough to sort of get a feel for the engine and
the mechanics and whatnot.
Being able to compare it to other games and stuff. It definitely has a GTA feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
GTA 5 more than anything. But it seems what I wanted to talk about more so than the game itself was that they've really taken to heart the criticism. You can tell that there's definitely, because we all know that Watch Dogs 1, while it wasn't a particularly bad game, it wasn't anywhere near the standard people were expecting.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way to describe it. And I think it was one of these things where they've massively overpromised and underdelivered.
Yeah,
it was like
I still think that they had a different plot well into development.
Yeah,
and that they just sort of veered it off, because if you play the story, it goes into this whole human trafficking thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just forgotten about, and it just goes to all this hacker bullshit. I'm like, okay, so what about the human trafficking thing? That seemed way more interesting.
Well, I mean, okay, so they've basically left all that behind. Like, what was Aiden was the name of the dude in the last one?
Yeah, Aiden Pierce.
He was definitely a guy with an agenda. He had
wasn't exactly a unique character either.
Yeah. But at least he had a raison d'etre. You know what I mean? He was like, there was a reason for him to be doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
Whereas they've thrown all that out with this game, and they've just called it for what it is. And essentially, you're a hacker, I think named Retro or something like that, and you you get in with this hacker group,
DedSec.
yeah. And the idea is, I'll get onto this first. Actually, you know what I found really interesting when I first played Watch Dogs 1, and they're like, oh, the Internet of Everything. Like everything's connected. All the devices in the world are connected and shit. And I was thinking about that at the time, going, "No, that's a bit bullshit." Like it is what it is. Like I got a phone and everything, but you're talking about like, like every device in the city is connected that you can hack into a cell phone. I'm like, that's not going to happen. And then, interestingly enough, they went through that spiel at the start of this game. And they're like, the Internet of Everything is connected all the devices to the thing. And I'm thinking about it, going, well, fuck yeah, they got fridges that can connect to the internet. And pretty much everything now has a Wi-Fi chip in it. And it's like,
a lot can change in 2 years.
Yeah, the prophecy has come true.
Yeah.
And I found that really interesting, that connection. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was. You join this hacker group, and there's not really, the agenda you have is basically just whatever their agenda is, which is the idea is you go out and you do these stunts that are supposed to gain you notoriety, and that manifests in the form of likes. So if you go out and you do some crazy stunt and hack something and destroy something or do whatever, all of the other hackers online are like, these dudes are sick, and they like your page and they like your thing. And so what happens is when they like your stuff, they donate to you, like cloud sourced bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
And the more bandwidth you have as a group, the more you can take your stunts to the next level, and the more you can push it. And the objective obviously is to get to the point where DedSec has enough power, like computing power, to do the really big hacks, the ones that matter. Yeah. Like get into governmental sort of stuff and things like that, as opposed to just like, stealing a script from a movie set or whatever, and it throws out all of that whole personal story thing, and it gets into you're definitely part of the group. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's probably a lot more character development going forward in the storyline I haven't gotten to yet, but relationship building and things like that. But at this stage, it's not one man's crusade. It's a lot more fun in that regard. It doesn't take itself way too seriously.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting dynamic shift. Like they're not continuing the story of Aiden. They're going forward with a whole new idea of what, of what the game's about and what they want from it. And that in itself is what makes it a little bit more GTA, It's all about getting out there and hustling, essentially.
It almost sounds like they added a touch of Sunset Overdrive to Watch Dogs.
It really, you know what? I would definitely put it in there as a not an influence, but definitely something that's as a comparison there. And boy, did I like that game. You know what? I'm actually more bummed than anyone, like anything else out there, that game didn't get the acclaim that it deserves.
It got acclaim, it just didn't get attention.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody who played it knows it's great, but it's one of those games. We had it in bundles and stuff. We were trying to sell it with consoles, and people, the first question they'd ask is like, "Can I swap the game? I don't like that game." It's like, you haven't played that game, dude. It's like you're a mother trying to say, "Look, try the vegetables." It's like, I don't like vegetables. You've never tried it. Just eat it.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating, particularly when I'd played the game and gone, "Holy shit, this game has everything." Right down to the sense of humor.
I think I told you ages ago. I think I said it should be illegal for games to be this fun.
Exactly. It should.
My God.
It doesn't work. It's like it's too good.
Yeah.
And I really like
put that on the box quote, by the way.
The sense of humor was great. What was that?
Put that on the box quote, by the way.
Yeah. The sense of humor of the game was like. One of the first things you do, I don't know if you remember, but you're leaning up against a dumpster out the front of a gig or whatever, just before all the shit goes down, and you're bored out of your skull. So he whips out his cell phone and starts playing Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, that's real meta, And it's a game for everyone too. Like it even has like, you can turn off the language and gore and have it PG, a game for everyone, or you can turn it all back on and play it properly, and it's bad. And I feel like they've outdone themselves with diversity too. Like as much as you're playing in the same engine, they've been really creative with their level, like stage design, like how they're gonna take you through each part of the story and not go over the same territory. You know, like a whole new cast of characters will show up with each mission, or you'll stick with them for a couple of missions and then move on, and they will have their own sort of situational kind of activities that you can do that don't follow the same mechanics. You know? There's always something interesting and new to do. Yeah,
and they'll have their own stories.
Exactly. Yeah, like I was just hanging out with all the LARPers.
Oh my god,
that was the best, man.
I love the minstrel. What was the I can't remember his name. Hardcore. The Hodor.
Hardcore. Every time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that guy ruled.
Yeah. Even like the respawning in that game was always a pop culture reference.
Yeah. Yeah, like you roll out of the DeLorean or
you get dropped off and
yeah.
I think there's a TARDIS in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Dude. You know what? If anyone's listening who hasn't played that game,
yeah, do yourself a favor.
Just do it. You know, like find what is it, like $19 or something? Yeah,
probably.
Just go buy it. You know,
if you know where we're, come see us. We'll fucking give you a deal.
It's genuinely just good. You know, and it doesn't get nearly enough credit for being as good as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
funnily enough, with Watch Dogs 2, I feel like Ubisoft they did what I call an Assassin's Creed.
They busted out an Assassin's Creed. All right, yeah, explain.
Basically, have you played the Assassin's Creed games?
Oh yeah, like the first one, maybe the second one, you know, and bits and pieces of the others. Like I played a little bit of Black Flag and
you
know.
Well, basically, Assassin's Creed 1 came out, and there was quite a bit of flair around that as well. A fair bit of hype, I think.
Well, it was a mechanic we hadn't seen before. That free running thing was a big deal back then.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, the game came out and it was underwhelming, I guess. Didn't quite live up to the hype. I personally liked it. I think because I played it and I played it like a few years later, to be honest, and I never really knew about it. I didn't get hyped over it, blah, blah, blah. I played it. I enjoyed it. It did feel a little lacking. It does get repetitive after a while.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you're doing the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. But then 2 came out, and 2 just completely changed the whole franchise. Like, just turned it around.
Yeah.
Amazing game, massive improvement, so much to do. A much more interesting character, and probably their best Assassin's Creed character they've had.
Who was that again?
Ezio.
Oh, Ezio. Was he in number 2? I thought he didn't come in 3 till 3.
No, his first game was number 2. Then
right.
To be fair,
they went
he went to Italy. He's probably their best character because he's the one that has the most games. Yeah, like that Brotherhood and Revelations. That was his whole story.
Yeah. He's been fleshed out a lot more. I'm losing my mic again. Hang on. Mic keeps coming off the table.
But yeah, he
Just carry on like this is all going to plan.
But yeah, number 2 was just such a big, massive turnaround, and it's what gave the franchise its legs, I guess, and what gave it its credibility. I feel like Watch Dogs 2 has done the same. Like, I haven't played it, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard from people, that's essentially what it's done. Yep. I feel like they kind of did the same with Far Cry as well. Like, no one gave a fuck about Far Cry until at least 2. 2 got kind of popular, kind of well known, but then 3 came out and just fucking took everyone by surprise.
What though? I think they knew they were onto something with that one as well, because like they were putting Vars everywhere. You know, they knew that they had a great villain and a great story and all that, and they just, you know,
they had a great villain and they did fuck all with him.
Yeah, you could say that.
He's in the game for like 10 fucking minutes.
Yeah, but there was did you ever watch that?
Still a fantastic game though.
Did you ever play that or watch that bonus featurette series?
Oh, with fucking, what's his face in it? Yeah, I saw that.
That was genius. It was so good. He was such a douchebag.
Apparently, you can find his head in the.
You can. Yeah, I think I might have found it. You go down to the beach and he's just sitting there on the the head's like under the bucket or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, Ubisoft. No, Ubisoft. Sorry, it's a tick I have.
Yeah, and then Far Cry 4 came out, and that had a great fucking villain as well.
Yeah, Although I don't think people took to him as well as Vars.
Which is odd, because like I feel like Pagan Min was a much better villain.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like, to me, a villain needs to have a presence.
Yeah.
Throughout the story, and Vars really didn't.
Yeah.
He was there at the beginning, and he was there at the middle when he died, and you found out the real villain was this fucking asshole that you don't give a shit about.
Yeah. They should have stuck.
Pagan Min throughout the whole game, he was just constantly in your ear, constantly talking to you, constantly berating you, antagonizing you.
Yeah.
With great dialogue, great voice acting, which was Troy Baker, I believe, who, fuck me, I would probably suck off if he let me.
Yeah, but what would you do to show him your appreciation, though?
Show him what it means to be a power bottom.
Yeah, oh my god! Because he's capable of taking an enormous amount of power. No, see, you got it backwards, man. His power bottom is capable of generating an awesome amount of power. Oh, I watched that the other day.
But yeah. Anyway, that was just me rambling.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Far Cry 4, great villain.
Yeah, Far Cry 4. Yeah, good game. Good game in general.
A game you can finish in 10 minutes.
You can. You know, I've never seen it. I'm going to have to look it up on YouTube. Huh?
I did it.
Yeah?
I made the mistake of doing it second because I think I only had the one save file. Like you can have the one save file in the PC version.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell anyway. And I finished the game. I was like, yeah, I'll go back and do a bunch of other stuff, but I'll do this first and I'll come back to that, and did the whole wait around for him to come back, and then the game finished, and then wrote my save. Overwrote my save. God. Like, fuck it, doesn't
you
matter.
burned it.
I'm just glad
it's
I finished
gone
the
now.
game before that happened, but you know.
Yeah. God damn, man. Well, that's what you get, man, for being invested in video games.
Yeah. Speaking of Troy Baker, Last of Us 2.
Oh, yes. Now,
We've been trying to
there
do
was a
this
trailer. I
podcast
didn't see it online anywhere.
We've been trying to do this podcast for like the last 2 weeks now, I think.
Yep.
And this is our first chance to really do it.
You've been championing the bit to talk about this goddamn trailer. And to be fair, it's a winner.
It is. It's such a massive winner. The only reason I really want to talk about it is because I have a fairly unique perspective.
Yep.
Well, not really perspective, but a unique story, I guess. Last of Us 1 is such a great game. It's one of those games, like I mentioned it before, you know, phenomenal game. It's one of those games that'll stay with me forever.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a big fan of storytelling.
Yeah.
And I love when you have a cinematic game that has such a great story to go with it. Mm-hmm. Like great characters, great everything. Like visually, it looks brilliant. I am more of an indie sort of gamer, but this is one of those AAA titles that is just, I won't be forgetting it anytime soon.
It has the heart of an indie game.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. But yeah, the first 20 minutes of The Last of Us is one of the most unforgettable 20 minutes of my life.
Oh, yeah, dude. That was bullshit.
Holy shit. I still, not to overuse the internet meme, but I cry every time.
Yeah. It was pretty breathtakingly like emotional, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I've shown people that first 20 minutes, people that don't even play games, like not even like big movie buffs or anything, and they've just gone, wow, like holy shit.
Yeah, you were getting into something different.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And that was what was important about it. You were like, this is not your average game, you know. Like the fact that they were brave enough to just start out just with a young girl roaming around a house.
Yeah,
you know? Like I mean, you could have very easily just had a whole bunch of people just see that and just go bullshit. Like that was actually one of the problems I had with was Assassin's Creed. Can't remember which one it was, but you start off like you do one or two things, and then suddenly you're a kid running around like a castle or mansion or something, like a what would you call it? Like a, I don't know, a facility place anyway. And it was like, so I don't want to be a kid. I want to go around, jump off buildings and stab pricks in the neck, you know?
Yeah.
But that game, you know, being a little girl running around looking for your dad or whatever she was doing was just like, yeah, no, this is cool. I'm into this, you know?
Yeah, they could have very easily just started with the opening credits of that game.
Yeah.
Like giving you the backstory of what happened, blah blah blah. But to do that set a great precedent for what was to come.
Yeah.
And
100%.
boy, did it deliver! Like
Yeah.
my god, did you ever finish it?
I don't believe I did.
Nah.
And it's one of my big regrets. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah. If you ever can, just do it. Near the end of the game has one of the best moments in a video game I've ever seen, which you probably already know. It's the giraffe scene, which I'm guessing you don't know.
Nope. I don't know about no giraffe. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a giraffe scene.
Okay.
Fucking amazing.
Suffice to say, it's a good giraffe scene.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Anyway, that's how my story starts. When I finished the game, whatever, loved it, blah blah blah. I've played through it multiple times, and a little while ago, I think Naughty Dog announced that they were going to make The Last of Us 2, and my reaction was no, don't do it.
Oh,
Don't,
wow. Okay.
Don't make The Last of Us 2 because Joel and Ellie's story was done.
Yeah.
It was a little open-ended, like Joel may have lied to her about something which could, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, to me, their story was done. I was like, don't make it. If you're going to make it, don't make it about Joel and Ellie. Give us
like
brand new characters in the same world, just something completely different, separate from them. Because I just got so attached to them.
Yeah.
Just so scared that you're going to do something unnecessary just for a quick buck, I guess.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog's not like that. I mean,
No.
I suppose I could say Uncharted 4 was exactly that. Stupid fucking unnecessary game.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I still hold that opinion. Like,
Wow.
the best part about that game was after you finish it and you play as Nate and Elena's daughter.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
You could have just made a fucking 20-minute game about that. I would have been happy. But to introduce a fucking brother we've never heard of for 3 games, just to have Troy Baker.
Okay.
up
Yeah,
again,
that was interesting. Yeah.
like go fuck yourself.
All right. Fair enough. I loved it, but that's, like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, I know.
As long as
I'm
it's,
well
as long as
aware.
it's not hating for hating's sake. Like, you seem to have some really logical reasons for not liking it.
Yeah.
And I'm down with that, but don't just shit on it because you're too good for it. That's what I was getting at before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, Joel and Ellie's story's done. Don't make it about them. I was of that opinion the whole way. Then the trailer dropped.
Yeah.
I watched that trailer and I was like, I'm so fucking in.
Yeah. They're getting the gang back together, man.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was like, yep. They know what they're doing. I'm going to just let them run with it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, sorry, I doubted you. Just do what you do. There's a reason Naughty Dog is fucking Naughty Dog.
Yep.
Like, they are one of those rare companies that can constantly just shit out gold.
Yeah.
And not feel like it's been overdone. Like, I feel like they have a good formula because, like, the PS1, they released Crash Bandicoot. They had Crash Bandicoot on the PS1. And then the PS2 came out and they sort of moved on from Crash and went to Jak and Daxter.
Yeah.
They made the Jak and Daxter games and they sort of left that behind when the PS3 came out and they made the Uncharted games.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 is a bit of an anomaly because I think that's the only game that they've sort of kept going with once a new console has come out.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But, I would like to try and forget Uncharted 4. So, yeah. Anyway, The Last of Us seems to be the one that's overlapping. Like, Last of Us 1 came out on the PS3 and number 2 is on the PS4, but, But yeah, anyway, that trailer, my God, do you know if that song was like an actual legit song or was it original? It has to be like...
I honestly don't know. It was...
Because, like, if that's an original song, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and it just fits the vibe perfectly. Like, it's just really well written. And that, you know what? That brings me back to my Naomi Kyle tweet interaction. What is it with me? I've just always got these interactions with people on Twitter. That was exactly what I was saying. Like, she was like, I'm going to go watch the trailer now. Everyone else has watched it. I'm going to get to it. And she came back and said, wow, that was great or whatever. And I said, well, gaming aside, it's a brilliant piece of digital art, like 3D digital art.
Oh yeah,
Like, remarkable, like better than anything anybody's probably ever seen up to this point.
Yeah.
And a pretty catchy song too, and she liked that.
yeah. Which is just totally completely true. Like the amount of detail in that trailer.
Even just the hand, like when she does that thing at the start, you may not have noticed it.
Yeah, when she stretches the fingers,
she's like gets like that, and
Yeah.
it just everything about it is
and
just
the slight shake in her hands too. You could tell that she had just done something.
Yeah, which is evidenced by the
rest of the trailer.
Yeah, what's happening in the other room,
Yeah. I remember watching the trailer and me being in the idiot that I am, or if I'm kind of bored, I just read comments on the videos.
Oh my god.
YouTube comment section, stay away from there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were just like, a lot of people had the theory that Joel may be dead.
Yep.
The whole game, like the.
Yeah, I heard something along those lines.
A lot of people were like, just look at the way, like the way the conversation flows in the trailer. Like, he's like, hey there, kiddo, you're really going to go through with this? Mm-hmm. And she doesn't really say, yes, I am, or no, I'm not.
Yeah.
She just says, I'm going to kill every last one of them.
Yeah. So she doesn't respond to him.
Not necessarily. Yeah. It's more like she could be talking to herself. And it doesn't seem like she looks directly at Joel. Maybe at the last second she does, because like she's sort of looking off in the distance and then her eyes shift towards where the door might be. But yeah, a lot of people think that she's going to kill all the people that were responsible for Joel's death.
Yeah, fair enough.
Joel might be in there the whole game, but just as a figment of her imagination or as her conscience and whatnot. Well, and she'll be the playable character.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I feel like it's been spoiled for me already. Like that would actually be a pretty cool twist.
Yeah.
But I really hope it's not now.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope it's something different, and that Joel is alive and well, and they have their own story.
Yeah.
To continue on, but yeah. It's kind of funny. Like I got Logan vibes from it, but the Logan trailer gave me Last of Us vibes.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, they've definitely I mean, they may not be aware of each other, but there's definitely a vibe going on there. Maybe it's just the flavor of the month, that sort of style of storytelling.
Well, if it is, it's not many people are picking up on that flavor. It only seems to be those two, and they're both pretty well established.
Yeah.
Franchises. First time Logan's taken it in that direction, but
for sure, yeah.
I mean that sort of style's been around for ages.
Yeah.
So, that was my unique sort of story on the whole thing. The fact that like I didn't want it to happen, and then seeing this trailer,
you're like, nah,
just totally.
I'm
flipping.
good. I'm in. Do it.
Yeah, completely flipping.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think anything would change my mind on that, regardless, and I was proven completely wrong.
What about the Spider-Man trailer? That was the other big thing that dropped this week, or maybe last week. Now that I think about it.
Well, to be fair, there were a few trailers that dropped last week. Yeah. There was the Spider-Man trailer, the new Planet of the Apes trailer dropped as well.
I don't know if I've watched that one actually.
If you want to see Woody Harrelson as intense as he's ever been.
Oh wait, maybe I did. I remember seeing him in something. So yeah, maybe I did watch it.
And another trailer dropped. A new Assassin's Creed trailer dropped.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not totally fussed on that movie. I mean, I know when does it come out? New Year's Day or Boxing Day or something?
New Year's Day. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be good, but like I'm not invested enough in the franchise to be champing at the bit. And I know there's plenty of dudes out there with like Assassin's Creed tattoos and stuff like that who are probably just tripping balls right now, but it's just like, yeah, all right, it's a movie. It's going to come out,
Yeah. Funnily enough, out of those three trailers, it was the Assassin's Creed one that got me most excited.
Oh, right on.
The Spider-Man trailer I think we watched it for the first time together.
That's right, we did too, yeah.
A special little moment. we had a little bit of a discussion, and it looks good. I'll go watch it, but I'm not super excited about it. It seems very Disney.
Yeah.
To me, like it feels like Disney's got their hands all over it. And like you look at the other Marvel movies, like okay, yeah, there's elements of that there. There's fingerprints.
Yep.
But this one seems very, very Disney to me.
Yeah. I think it is aimed at a young audience.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you said when we watched it. Like, this seems like something Disney would have their hands on.
Yeah.
very much, mainly because of the character himself and his initial and current demographic, I suppose.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, you can't expect studios to cater to your demographic for the rest of your life. Eventually, they've got to start targeting it at who you were when you were 15 or 16. You know, because there was plenty of movies around when we were kids that were designed for us, you know. And now you can't begrudge them the opportunity to sort of target a whole new audience, you know, and start investing in the people who are going to be like how we are with you know, superhero movies and stuff now. You know, that those people they're currently targeting are going to grow up and become the next generation of us, you know.
I think it's a bit of a weird situation to be in though, because like we're at the age that we're at, but when we were much younger, we didn't have superhero movies or no real viable ones. These are the first sort of group of viable superhero movies we've had ever, and I don't feel this way personally, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of being cheated out of it because a lot of it's being catered towards the younger audience. Like a lot of them probably feel like these should be catered towards me.
Yeah.
Because like we've been waiting 20 odd years for this to happen.
It's our time.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
But I mean, you know, when we can go home and we can fire up Netflix and we can see things like Jessica Jones and all that sort of stuff. Even shows that we didn't even know we wanted. You know what I mean? We got plenty of that stuff now. Things like Westworld and stuff. And oddly enough, Westworld is raging success. That isn't even our demographic. That's like people who are 10 years older than us demographic, because that movie came out like with Yul Brynner and shit in it, you know. Like it wasn't like a 90s movie that they're rehashing. This is a classic film. And admittedly they're doing a great job, but it's one of those properties that's like nobody knew they wanted until it came out and we saw how great it was, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I thought the trailer looked cool. It was very paint by numbers, even just the choice of music. The scene where they go from serious to then in school and they bring out some top 40 indie track thing. I can't remember. And I was like, yeah, you can totally see that a trailer company has put this together, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They outsource trailers to specific people who are this their job, you know? And you could tell because they use the same carbon copy sort of idea of just a sprinkling of humor, just enough action, a little bit of something you've never seen before. You know, it's like it really is paint by numbers, you know. And I mean, I don't begrudge them that either. That's cool, but it left me a little bit underwhelmed with the trailer because of that. You know, they didn't show me a trailer like that I'd never seen before. They showed me what they show for every teen movie, you know.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I'm looking forward to it. I'll go watch it. Yeah. I'll probably enjoy it. But the trailer.
No doubt. Like, and to be honest, the Vulture looks sick.
Yeah.
For the 1 second that we saw of him.
Michael Keaton literally playing Birdman.
Yeah.
God, that had to be on purpose. Like they were like, Vulture's going to be the villain, and we're going to cast Michael Keaton. We're going to pay $50 million to do it.
Yeah, because he won't say no to that.
Yeah.
But what? Oh shit! Hang on, I just made a crooked line. I forgot my point. It was a big deal in my head, and then it just went away. Michael Keaton, Batman, Mr. Mom, Beetlejuice.
Oh shit! We said it twice.
Beetlejuice. Oh shit! Again, there was another movie on this as a kid.
Does it count if two people like alternate it?
I doubt it. Like, there's always rules. You know, there's always rules. Yeah. They don't break those sort of rules until the sequel, man. You know, that's when they start really hitting home with the. Well, we need to massage these rules a little bit because it worked great in the first one, but now we need to push the boundaries.
Oh God, the quest for more money.
Yeah. All right, I'm doing some serious construction work here. All right, yada. Okay, what about the DC crossover episodes? What's your take on that?
Have you watched them?
I heard, yeah. Yes, I have now. Yeah, that's right. I hadn't caught up with Legends, but I have now. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, first of all, not 4 episodes.
What do you mean?
Well, they they were like, 4 episode crossover this week, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah. Well, hang on. Yeah, that's right. There was like 10 seconds of one in Arrow. No,
The end of Supergirl.
then the Supergirl was like
Yeah,
Flash turns up. It's like oh
yeah, yeah. We need you. All right,
yeah.
see you later.
All right. The end. And then they showed that again in
In the
Flash.
Flash. Yeah,
It's
so
like,
there's no point.
dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was very fun. It was probably a lot of childhood dreams came true, I suppose.
Yeah.
Especially seeing like that one shot at the end where like a whole bunch of them are just standing there. You got that hero shot.
Yep. That was pretty
I
cool.
was like squealing like a girl, going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, go get him. You know what? I was actually kind of pissed off at Arrow though when he goes up to Supergirl and he's like, "I don't want you there. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're an alien. I can't deal with aliens." It's like, come on, Arrow. She's cute. Deal with it for us, bro.
You gotta nerf her, man, because like she could have solved all their problems instantly.
I know.
That's the problem with having a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really enjoyable. I feel like the crossover was more a 2 episode crossover.
It was definitely
with Flash and Legends, because like Arrow was in a bit of a tough spot because it was the 100th episode as well.
Yeah.
As a 100th episode, it was great.
Yeah.
As a crossover episode, it was just nah,
Yeah. Nah.
very very disappointing.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I didn't. I watched them over a couple of days, like everyone else. But I was catching up with a few things. And I jumped a few episodes ahead, which I've since caught up with.
Yeah.
But it was really disorienting actually, because in the crossover spoilers, Cisco sort of gets over his little hatred hard on for
Barry.
yeah, and that was cool. But then I went back and watched the episode before that, and he's still like, he's back again. He's like, Barry, I hate Barry. We're not friends and shit. I'm like, didn't we solve this already? And then I realized, oh, that's right. I'm watching him out of order. It's like, but that really bummed me out because I like Cisco being the levity of the show. And when he's all angry and butthurt all the time, it was actually bumming me out.
Yeah.
And he's entitled to be, but just, it was just, I was just like, I want Cisco
the whole time you're just like, can you just guys just be friends again?
Yeah, just super friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I felt like that arc just went on a little bit too long. That's all. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen to me. I got to see the Flash and Supergirl kicking ass together. Like
Yeah.
I could stop being a little bitch about it and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was just happy to see something like that.
For sure.
Seeing a lot of like characters I've known for ages appear live action together.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no Batman, there was no Superman, but who gives a shit?
Yeah. Maybe Superman will show up in the next one.
They've got their own fucking movies, all right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we get their story. And even then, like, then you got Batman and Suicide Squad and all that sort of stuff. He's a busy man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We might call it there, man. We've been harassing these people far too long. All right. So as always, thank you for watching. This podcast is brought to you by Wyer Art because we don't have a real sponsors. I'm looking at you. Okay. If you're watching the stream, you want to listen to us on your commute, search iTunes for Pretty Sketchy Podcast. If you're an audio listener, but you want to see what I'm actually doing, check us out on YouTube, Pretty Sketchy Podcast. Yeah. Thanks for dropping in, Michael. And, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for dropping out in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for the dropping out. Dude, technical issues akimbo today, but we got through it. We're good. Yeah. Hopefully, I haven't checked out the stream yet. It could be another catastrophe. But yeah, all right. Just bear with us, people. This is a whole new ball game. So this whole live streaming business. Even I was listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast today, and even they were bitching about their live streams not working properly. So, if they can't do it right, I've got all the excuses in the world. So.
They never do any work though. So.
That's right. That's their day job. They got all the time in the world to fix their shit. I got to come home from like a hard day of Christmas trade and then try and put this shit together. Get home. I told you this, but how's this, people? I wake up this morning, the water's out in my whole street. I'm like, I know we should have finished like 5 minutes ago, but I got to get this out there, right? And then all of a sudden, like, I get home from work. My brother calls me. He lives 2 doors up. He calls me the second I pull into the driveway. I go, "Did your power just shut out?" I'm like, oh. So I walk inside, sure enough, blackout. And so I messaged Michael and I'm like, Yeah, we can probably do the podcast tonight, but I got no power. And so I had to just sit around hoping and praying that someone from the energy company would fix our street, you know. And then, this is, Chuck, just wedge in the middle of that, just 5,000 customers all wanting to undercut like cost on every deal that I did today. So, so if I'm a little grouchy, just bear with me. All right. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll catch you later, guys. Pretty Sketchy Podcast. .com, all that nonsense. You know the drill. This is just gone into Bill Burr territory. All right.
Vote for me on the next X Factor.
Vote for That's why Marshman was second runner up. You didn't vote. Get out there. All right. Catch you later.